Hello YouTube, how's everyone doing? It's Professional here. So today I got another top 5 video for you guys on Red Dead Online, and this is a video that I want to talk about things that will hopefully come to Red Dead Online in 2021. Now as you guys know, 2020 was kind of a disaster for Red Dead Online. It didn't get that much support. It got the Naturalist DLC, which a lot of people thought was boring, and then it got the Bounty Hunter expansion, which didn't really add that much to the game. Did add some infamous bounties and legendary bounties, but wasn't really a new role, not much content to it, and of course we had the daily challenge nerfs. So here are 5 things that hopefully we can see in 2021, because Red Dead Online does really need some good content this year. These are 5 things that I found a lot of players like and want to see in the game. I hope that you guys enjoy it. Let's get started here. So starting off at number 5, we have new weapons and wagons. Now you guys see right here, I am using this new war wagon that was brought in as the second legendary bounty, Carmela Montez, in the Bounty Hunters expansion. And this vehicle is in the game. This is something that you can get into. It's only part of this mission, and it's a usable gun, which leads me to believe that we're possibly going to see something like this in a future update. Now, a lot of people have wanted the option to have an armored wagon, especially with a turret like this. Now, some people, they would say that this would be overpowered or broken. Me, personally, I don't really think that this would be overpowered or broken, because if you think about it this way, this thing needs 2 people to use it. You need a driver and you need a gunner, and even if you drive it and then get in the gun, that takes some time. People can run for cover, they can get away from you on horseback, and then somebody else would just need to shoot the horses in the front, and the wagon would basically be useless. So I don't think that a wagon like this would necessarily be overpowered, and people want to see more wagons added to this game. There is a vehicle tab. We have the Bounty Hunter wagon, and we also have the hunting wagon. We're obviously not going to see cars in this game. I don't even want to see cars personally, because cars would just be stupid, and I think it would ruin any kind of immersion, because this is the year 1898. Cars in this time period did exist, but they wouldn't be able to handle this type of terrain. So I would like to see new wagons. I would also like to see some new guns. Now, the last new gun that we got was the elephant gun as part of the Naturalist DLC. And, people would argue this was a substitute for a new gun, but, I don't really think so, because this gun is mainly for hunting. It is somewhat effective in close range in PvP, but it was mostly for hunting. I want a gun that can be used for combat, that we can kill enemies with. Maybe a new bolt-action rifle. Maybe they could add something like the Mosin the Gun. That is a very common bolt-action rifle, the most mass-produced bolt-action rifle in history, and there's, several revolvers and pistols that they could add. So a lot of people want to see new guns. They could also add that M1899 pistol that was in single player for a lot of people, so that could also be added to Red Dead Online. So players do want to see new guns, and hopefully something like the War Wagon added in a future update. Next at number 4, we have changed the honor system. Now, the honor system has been useless in this game for years, whereas in the single player, honor actually plays a pretty big role, and it can actually change the ending of the game. In the online, the largest thing that honor has an effect on is it has an effect on certain story missions that you unlock for online. If you have low honor, you unlock the Samson Finch missions, which eventually lead to a bank robbery. If you have high honor, you unlock the Marshal Tom Davies missions and the Sheriff Freeman missions. And these missions are just missions that you do once or twice, and that's it. You don't really feel like doing them again. They just get boring and repetitive. So that's pretty much what honor affects. And honor even has a specific NPC, the Old Man, where you can actually pay gold for him to give you higher honor or lower honor. And that's the biggest waste of gold in the game, because it's just the limited things that honor does. So what can Rockstar do to make honor in this game better? What they can do is maybe they could have certain abilities that you unlock if you have high honor or if you have low honor. For instance, maybe if you have high honor, you get discounts in certain shops. If you have low honor, maybe witnesses are not as likely to report you. Maybe if people see you committing a crime, they're less likely to report you because they're scared of you. And maybe they could even add future activities in the game, like certain activities for high honor characters where they might have to save someone, more different than free mode events, and they can maybe unlock certain activities like maybe robberies in the open world for low honor characters. So there's a lot of things that they can do with the honor system, so I really want to see some more RPG elements focus on it. At number 3, we have mansions and properties. Now, this has been a heavily requested feature since launch. People have wanted mansions and properties for a very long time. And the main reason is because we have saved up so much money in this game, earned so much money, and we're just stuck and limited to this camp this entire time. Which, I like the camp, don't get me wrong, but people don't want to be in the camp forever. Now, there's so many nice houses in this game, specifically in Saint Denis. There's 2 mansions that I can think of that you can actually go inside, which is the mayor's house, which we're in right here. And you see, this is such a nice house. And then my favorite one is actually Angelo Bronte's house. Now, Angelo Bronte's house, in order to get into his house, you have to spawn a bounty wagon, climb up on the wagon, and then climb up on the balcony and then shoot the window. But as we explore his house, we can see just how nice it looks, and I really wish that one day we can actually own properties like this, because there's so many mansions in Saint Denis that I could easily see Rockstar adding to the game, being able to buy them, and also let us customize them. Let us actually change the colors inside them. Let us move furniture around. Let us buy different cosmetics for them. Because if you do it where every mansion is the exact same interior, that's going to be boring. And that's going to bore a lot of players. Make it unique. Make them different. On top of that, they could also add things like maybe a horse stable outside. They could also do certain things like adding activities in the mansion. Maybe they could add dominoes or poker with friends. Maybe they could also add it where you can buy mash for your moonshine business. You can buy supplies for your trader from the catalog right in the mansion. There's so many possibilities there. But on top of it, maybe they could also add it where you can actually craft your own house. And from the single player, I remember when there was a catalog of houses that John could choose from. He automatically chooses the house that he has at Beecher's Hope. But imagine if you could actually choose from a variety of houses here, and then you could actually craft the house, and you could actually build it. And you would have to find resources, and maybe they could have some kind of similar animation that they have in the single player. I think that would be really cool if you actually spend time crafting and building your own house, because then you would actually be proud of what you built at the end. And also make it so that each house can be changed differently. Don't make it so that every single house is the exact same thing, because that, like I said, that will bore players. But Rockstar, they want to be able to make more money from Red Dead Online. Adding properties to the game would be a perfect way to earn more money, because like I said, there would be people that would grind, but there would also be people that would buy gold bars so that they could be able to buy these properties. A lot of people want to be able to own them. And last thing I'll say about this, what happens if the house that you build, like in the wilderness, what happens if that house is in the same place as another house? They could do something like Fallout 76, where they could possibly spawn your house in a different area, not too far from it, but also in the wilderness. I could see them doing something like that, so I don't really see it as a big deal if somebody could possibly have a house in the same location. They would just move it to a similar location, not too far. Moving on to number 2, we have an Outlaw Role and heists. Now, this is one of the most heavily requested features. A lot of people have asked for robberies since day one in this game, and this is probably the most frequently asked question on my streams, which is, what role do I want to see added to this game? I want to see an outlaw role added, and I know I've talked about this before, but I think it's really important to highlight why this needs to be added to the game in 2021. People want to feel like they're in the Wild West. They want to be able to commit crimes, like bank robberies. And this is from the Samson Finch mission that you guys see me playing. But people want to be able to commit robberies, heists, train robberies, maybe hold up coaches as well. Now, how an outlaw role could work is similar to other roles where you go and purchase it, and then you unlock different gadgets and abilities as you level up the outlaw role. And what the outlaw role could have you doing is a random bank could be open across the map every in-game day. So a random bank could be open. It could be open in Armadillo. One might be open in Blackwater. One might be open in Valentine, Rhodes, and Saint Denis. And you could go to these banks, you could rob them, you can plant dynamite, or you can crack the safe quietly like you see me doing right here. And then you can maybe take the money back to maybe your camp or another place, and another team, maybe if high honor players, could stop you. And this is where they could encourage friendly PvP and role-playing, where one group of players might be like vigilantes, like kind of like lawmen, where they have high honor. You could tie the honor system directly into this, and one posse might be a low honor posse. Imagine if there's also trains around the map. There's a random train driving around the map, maybe one train of cargo, maybe another train would be like a rich passenger train where you could blow open the safes and you could kidnap the rich people on it, and then the high honor posse would see a notification for that, and they could go and try to save the kidnapped rich people. Or maybe they could have like stagecoaches that are carrying valuable loot around the map. They could do so many things with an outlaw role, so people want to be able to rob things, because we got plenty of arms in this game. We got plenty of guns. We have the ability to do it. We have the ability to do it in story missions. Why are we not able to do it in free mode, in the online? I don't want to see it something like heists in GTA where you're invited to a separate lobby. I want to see it directly tied into free mode, because it would bring the world of Red Dead Online to life. But let me know what you guys think of that. I really want to see an outlaw role added to this game. I think it would be really good. Before I reveal the number one thing that I think should be added to Red Dead Online in 2021, I want to make a special mention, and that is more ways to make gold and better communication from Rockstar. Now, Rockstar needs to communicate better with their fans. They need to address fan feedback and talk with people. A lot of developers do this on Twitter. They respond directly to their fans, so they need to be more open on the newswire, excite us for updates to come, better communication. And as for gold making, there needs to be more ways to make gold. They have cut the daily challenges in half, which I've talked about several times now, but this has been a huge effect on the amount of gold that players can make. And while we can make gold from converting 10,000 bounty hunter role XP, it's not the same as with the daily challenges in the past. So there needs to be more activities that pay out in gold as well. And the number one thing that I want to see added to Red Dead Online, and if it even is added, it's probably not going to be added until the end of the year, is a map expansion. The reason I really want to see a map expansion on this game is because GT Online got a map expansion, so now Red Dead Online players should also ask for one. And Rockstar, they could do a map expansion in either Mexico or Guarma, but I would really like to see Mexico, and I think the majority of people can agree with me on that. And if we actually look across from New Austin, we see Mexico, and they have the entire layout for the original Mexico map remastered in Red Dead Redemption 2 and in Red Dead Redemption Online, so you begin to wonder, why do they have it there? It might be some kind of future plans for a possible DLC. Now, the game doesn't want you to go to Mexico, you're not supposed to go there, but there are ways to actually get to Mexico. And if you get to Mexico, you can see it's largely remastered, you don't fall through the map, it's actual ground that you run around on, which again brings up the question, why is it like this? I think possibly they're experimenting with the idea of having it as a map expansion in the future. We can even see there's white sand in certain places, just like there was in the first game in Mexico. I would also like to thank my friend Anomalous Scientist for actually recording the El Presidio fort. Now, El Presidio, this is the same fort where you actually capture Javier in the single player in the first game. And the fort, you can explore the majority of the fort. There are a few walls that, or layers, I should say, that you can actually fall through. The ground itself, you can run around in Mexico, but this fort is a little bit unstable. You can also see this fort from New Austin. So I really hope they add a map expansion, and I think that a map expansion could grow this game the best way possible, because it would attract so many new players if they added a map expansion. New players that have never played the game before, people that might have stopped playing the game, and even people that just play Red Dead Redemption 2 single player, refuse to play the online. If you had Mexico as an expansion, I guarantee you would see a lot of people. Obviously, Rockstar would need to populate Mexico with some settlements and some buildings, but the map itself, it's there. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this. Let me know what you think down below of this, and if you enjoyed this video, drop a like on it, and also possibly share this video and post this video on Rockstar's feedback page, because the more people see it, maybe Rockstar will too, maybe they'll implement some of these ideas. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I'll see you in the next one. Take care, everyone.